Most people believe that when a boat disappears, someone eventually finds something. A life jacket, floating debris, an overturned hull, at the very least, an explanation. But the ocean holds a reality that rarely enters public conversation. Every year, vessels vanish without leaving a single confirmed trace. No wreckage, no survivors, no final distress call, just coordinates, where something should be and isn't. The assumption that kills curiosity. We are conditioned to believe modern technology makes true disappearance nearly impossible. GPS tracks vessels, radars sweep the horizon, emergency beacons transmit locations within seconds. From land, it creates the illusion that the ocean is monitored, controlled, almost predictable. But offshore, predictability is often the first thing that disappears. And when it does, events tend to accelerate quietly, not violently. Not dramatically, just enough to put distance between a vessel and the world searching for it. The myth of immediate rescue. There is a comforting belief many people carry. If something goes wrong, rescue will come quickly. Search and rescue teams are among the most skilled professionals on Earth, but they are fighting an environment that expands in every direction. Because at sea, search areas don't grow gradually, they grow exponentially. A boat that is 1 mile off course becomes 4, then 16, then dozens. Wind rarely cooperates with current. Current rarely cooperates with forecast models. Within hours, the search zone can become larger than an entire city. And unlike a city, there are no streets, no landmarks, no reference points, just moving water. The drift problem. Once a vessel loses propulsion, even briefly, it stops behaving predictably. People imagine drifting as slow, gentle, manageable. Often it isn't. Multiple forces begin acting at once. Surface current pulling one direction, subsurface current pulling another, wind pressing against exposed structure. Even wave rhythm can create directional movement over time. Search teams build projections based on mathematics. But the ocean is under no obligation to follow those equations. Which means rescuers are often searching where a boat should be, while the vessel itself may already be somewhere else entirely. And with each passing hour, probability begins replacing certainty. When technology fails quietly, modern vessels carry extraordinary equipment: chart plotters, satellite communication, emergency position indicating radio beacons, layered safety systems designed to prevent the unthinkable. But technology offshore has one unforgiving requirement: power. Lose electrical systems, and layers collapse quickly. Batteries flood, antennas snap, connections corrode. Sometimes the failure is sudden. Other times, it begins small. A wiring issue, a compromised seal, an unnoticed leak. Nothing dramatic enough to trigger panic, at least not immediately. There is a phrase often repeated in maritime investigations: redundancy is survival, but few vessels truly have enough of it. And when redundancy runs out, silence follows. The visibility illusion. From shore, the ocean can look open, almost empty. From the air, it is visually chaotic. Whitecaps mimic debris fields. Sun glare blinds even experienced pilots. Cloud shadows distort color and depth. Something as large as a vessel can blend into shifting water surprisingly fast. Now consider something smaller: a person in the water. At even modest altitude, visual detection becomes extraordinarily difficult beyond short distances. Search crews know this, which is why time is never treated casually. Because visibility does not improve with delay, it deteriorates. The moment most people misread. Contrary to popular imagination, many maritime emergencies do not begin with chaos. They begin with something far more dangerous: normalcy. Conditions appear manageable. The crew believes the situation is temporary, fixable, contained, so they troubleshoot, they reassess, they wait. Distress calls are sometimes delayed not because people are careless, but because human psychology favors optimism. We tell ourselves, it's under control. There's time. No need to escalate. Yet maritime case reviews repeatedly show a pattern. The most dangerous moment is often the one people misclassify as temporary. The compounding effect. Problems at sea rarely stay isolated. A propulsion issue can become a positioning problem. A positioning problem can become a fuel concern. Fuel concerns create range limitations. Range limitations reduce options. And offshore, reduced options narrow quickly. What might have been manageable hours earlier becomes critical, then uncertain, then quiet. Why debris isn't guaranteed. Many assume the ocean eventually returns evidence, but recovery depends on countless variables: material buoyancy, breakup pattern, current direction, weather shifts, seafloor depth. Some wreckage sinks immediately. Some scatters across enormous distances. Some is never located simply because the search grid cannot remain infinite. There comes a point in every operation when probability forces an unbearable question. Where do we stop looking? It is not a failure of effort. It is mathematics colliding with scale. The psychological edge of survival. Survival investigators often note something both simple and unsettling. Major emergencies rarely begin with panic. They begin with misjudgment, a small underestimation, a delayed decision, an assumption that conditions will hold just a little longer. I wrote about this survival pattern in The Ocean Doesn't Forgive, because recognizing it early is often what separates a close call from a disappearance. Preparation is rarely dramatic, but absence of preparation often is. When the search becomes a calculation, as hours stretch into days, search patterns widen, aircraft rotate, crews fatigue, weather windows close. Eventually, operations shift from expectation to statistical likelihood. Hope does not vanish, but it changes shape. Charts sometimes retain markings not labeled as wreck sites, but as last known positions, coordinates suspended in uncertainty, places where something departed the known world and never fully returned to it. Haunting close. The ocean does not need violence to erase something. It only needs distance, depth, and time. And once separation becomes large enough, finding a single vessel is no longer a guarantee. It becomes a probability problem, which is why some areas of open water remain associated with quiet questions, rather than clear answers. Reminders that offshore, control is often an illusion, and that the line between routine passage and permanent disappearance can be far thinner than most people ever imagine.